Hi, this is Rod, Boomer Guitar Sessions, and today we are going to talk about chord reduction. Chord reduction is a concept that we learn from the jazz guitar players, that we take from the jazz guitar players, even if we're not a jazz guitar player, that what it means is you're taking a large chord and you're stripping it down to its basic notes, fundamental notes, to suit the arrangement of whatever we are about, whatever song, whatever application we're about to apply it on. For example, I'm going to give you two obvious examples. Bob Marley, reggae, lots of reggae. We can practice bar chords with reggae. Bob Marley's more likely to strip everything down to 2 or 3 notes. So all the real dudes, all the real guys, when I say the real guys, I'm talking about the history of rhythm guitar. I'm talking the Freddie Greens. I'm talking the Nile Rodgers. I'm talking the Tony Maidens. I'm talking about Jimmy Nolan. What they would only use the number of notes. They're not going to be doing big chunky bar chords. The amount of times bar chords are not used is astronomical. Another example would be the use of power chords. The very use of power chords is an example of chord reduction. So if I'm going like, if I do this instead, that's an example of chord reduction. All right? So what we're going to apply this to today is a song by Bill Withers called Just the Two of Us. All right, so Just the Two of Us is a classic, kind of jazzy, smooth jazz, neo-soul kind of progression that keeps coming up. My jazz band kids, they're learning it. And what the temptation is to do is to learn Just the Two of Us exactly the way the chord chart tells you to. And what that is, it starts in the key of D flat, D flat major 7, to C7, F minor 7, E flat minor 7, A flat 7, D flat major 7, C7, F minor 7. That is the loop. It's a pretty loop. I'll grant you that. It's a pretty loop. Let's check it out. So I'm going to play it first without the music. Okay, and then what that's going to sound like with the music. We can do better than that. A guy like Eric Gale, the guitar player on that track, comes from a jazz background, kind of a rhythm and blues, funky, soul, jazz background. Esteemed studio player from the 1970s. What he would have done, what he would have thought of, because naturally, he's coming from the jazz background, he was, how can I strip this down so I'm not getting in the way of the keyboard part and make the part concise. So some of the things I would think about, the idea of shell voicings. Shell voicings are one method in which we can reduce a chord. When I say shell voicings, this would be that's a D flat major 7, that's a C7. To play shell voicings means you're only playing 3 notes of the chord, and that would work. So the shell voicing is just the root, the seventh, and the third of the chord. We're not concerning ourselves with the fifth, so we're just taking the essential notes of the chord. Now, right here, what I'm doing, I'm playing, this is your flat 7, this is your third, and that's your 13. On that one, that's another kind of voice leading. So, the other thing, we want to make it sound like real music. So I tell all my students, listen to the real tracks, listen to the real players. A lot of this comes up in the jazz band kids, and it's like, but they have to listen to the real players, or else it's going to sound like kids reading music, and there is no more horrendous sound than people reading music and just reading music and not putting all their facilities into it. Okay, so with that said, here's some shell voicings for just the two of us that we can use. All right, so starts with D flat major 7, then it goes to C7, then it goes to F minor 7. Move that down to E flat minor 7. Now here's what I do. A flat 7, I don't play this, I play this. That's a 13 chord, because 13 is a substitute of A flat 7. Okay, now the other thing is you want to surround this by rhythms that are stylistically appropriate to what you hear these musicians playing in the 1970s. Okay, so something like that would include. Other things we can do is like that. That's your F minor 7. What we could throw some of those other colorful things up. All right, some of those other colors make it sound like real music. It is real music. Also, bass players. Marcus Miller, still a teenager when he recorded this. He is the bass player on this track. Listen to it. He's putting his thumb and his plucking in there. Learn the thumbing and plucking part. Don't make it sound like Tool playing just the two of us. That's square. We don't want to do that. That's ugly. So anyway, so with that said, we have a chorus. We have a chorus of the song. The chorus. How do we apply these chord changes to a funky beat? This is how you would do it. Now we could even strip it down even more. Here's your whole chord. What we could do is just get rid of the root note. those are the essential notes. All right, that makes the music sound like real music. Chord reduction, chord reduction. You find this in pop music, you find this in heavy metal, you find this in reggae, you find this in R&B, you find this in jazz. Freddie Green. He's only playing 3-note voicings. Sometimes 2-note voicings. All right, there is a bridge to this song. Okay, so what the bridge is, it's going to start with your A flat major 7. All right, then it's going to go to C7, then a B flat major 7, then a B flat 7, then an A major 7, then an A flat 7, then it says D flat major 7, G flat 7. Now what can we do to that? We can make shell voicings. That's one of the things we can do. All right. Another thing that occurs to me is that kind of stripping something down by getting rid of the root. So anyway, so in future lessons in Boomer Guitar Sessions, we're going to talk more and more about chord reduction. It is all in an effort to make your music sound like real music. Check out the works of Nile Rodgers, the rhythm guitar player, extraordinary record producer. This is something that is used in arranging. This is something that is used in, it's just completely musical, a musical thing. Getting away from just thinking that bar chords is the end of this. Bar chords is not the end of this. Okay, it's being musical. That's the end of this. What is musically appropriate in a lot of music that you're going to get into? Popular music, rock music, stripped down voicings, stripped down chord reduction is going to be a really cool tool you want to have in your toolbox. So anyway. This is Rod, Boomer Guitar Sessions. Hope you got a lot out of this. I know a lot of people will get something out of this. So like, subscribe, and I believe in you, and you can do this. See you next time. Hi, this is Rod from Boomer Guitar Sessions. I personally wanted to thank you for being part of our community. If you like what we're doing here and you want to see more of it, please hit the like, subscribe, and share. And this helps me spread my musical messages to all over the world. Thank you. I appreciate you. And always remember, you can do this.